Yellow. Hallo Bayern. Objection! Ah. Weiß ich noch, wie ich die Leute geredet haben? Nein! Weiß ich nicht. Guten Nacht, Tarist. Same mood. Ich war immer noch K.O. so. Oh, ich lieb. Ich glaube, ich habe alles ready. Das ist jetzt sehr lustig. Ja. Ich habe keine Ahnung mal wieder, wo wir waren. Wie immer. Standard. Continue? Ich weiß nicht, wo waren wir dann? Ach so, wir waren... Part 2 von Trial. Aha. Also, Episode 2. Oh ja, mit zweiten Trial. Okay. Vom Saved Game da, ja. Ich glaube, wir haben das letzte Mal das erste Trial-Teil abgeschlossen. Glaube ich. Kann das sein? Müssen wir jetzt nochmal investigaten? Ich weiß es gar nicht. Teufel Jumping Jacks! Ach so, Seki. Oh, Mr. Natsume. I'm so pleased for you. Oder war es fertig? Ich habe keine Ahnung mehr. Nee, also irgendwas haben wir noch nicht gelöst. Das war ja der Shakespeare-Typ da und... Nee. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Wir haben... Kann ich im Code nachgucken? Wir haben rausgefunden. Was haben wir rausgefunden? Das da war der Verlobte von Green. Ist der nicht auch gestorben? Alter, ich habe doch keinen Plan mehr. Okay. Für irgendwas habe ich einen Guide. Wenn ich komplett lost bin. Locum so Mr. Naruto Esquire. A non-locum judicial assistant Miss Mikrotoba Esquires. Ich vertreibe mich mal so. Oh, finally. At long last. There can be proof. Okay. Proof that I'm innocent and proof that my tea is innocent. Ja. Ich bin innocent. Charms. I love you. Ich müsste einfach ein Cosplay davon machen, weil ich es geil finde. Ich mag sein Outfit so sehr. Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. Da! Herr Lock Scholz! Das ist nicht Herr Lock. Der Herr Lock! Wer kennt ihn nicht? May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. Gut. Seki ist so. I thought that he was innocent. Oh, Mr. Scholz, you came. How wonderful. Please, save your decision. I know what you're all thinking. Was so? Good morning, he says. When it's very nearly time for luncheon. Also. Nein, das frage ich mich erst gar nicht mehr. Ich habe Freunde, die sagen auch am Abend spät Moin oder so ein Scheiß. Who knows? Mahlzeit. Oder... Ich habe keine Ahnung. Guten Morgen. Oh well. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sorts. Meines Tages seid unabhängig. Naja, keine Ahnung. Ich fände, morgen ist für mich so ein Äquivalent von morgen. Und morgen sage ich nicht Nachmittag. Aber ja, whatever. Du war Typbond. Mahlzeit. Nimmst du auch zu ihrer Tageszeit Mahlzeit, von dem her. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep disused me last night, I thought, tomorrow, for once I shall not oversleep. Gut. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Ah. Such spirited determination has a beauty all on its own, does it not? Aber du hast es nicht geschafft. Oh. Oh, yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I quiet. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? Das frage ich mich auch immer. Guten Nachmittag. So, morgen! So, aber hallo. And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep! Oh mein Gott! Boah, Scholz, du bist ja richtig schlau. Man würde mir gar nicht einmerken, dass ich schlafen würde. Würde ich nicht schlafen? Wow! Oh Mann. Gut. Well, is that not an astute insight to the matter? Nein, ist es nicht. Oh, yes? In meinem Björn zu surfen! Nein! Mann. Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night! Schlau. Definitiv. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by a fit of drowsiness. Fits of drowsiness, okay, yeah. Shocking! Wenn ich nicht schlafe, bin ich müde! And so, the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Wow. Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose, approved by examination. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Well, good. Ah, yes. And one more thing. Do you remember this? Nein. Hab ich vergessen. Schlaf wichtig? Danke, Scholz! Ich hab vergessen. Also, das ist... Gift. Ah, yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Also, das war das. Also, stimmt. Oh, you didn't manage to... It was a laborious task. The bottle was near empty. But such inconveniences do not hinder Scholz. Oh, natürlich. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine. Gift. Ist ja giftiges Gift drin. So, I was right. Perhaps. Though, of course, such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Mrs. Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your can now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Danke. Do not drink the poison. Do not lick the poison. Do not lick the container that contained poison. Good. Ich habe kalt. Ich habe einen Pulli da liegen. Moment! Ich muss mal kurz einen Pulli nehmen. Ich habe kalt. Ich dachte vorher so, ich habe warm. Ich ziehe ein T-Shirt an. Und dann habe ich ein T-Shirt an. Jetzt habe ich kalt. Nope. Moment. Wo ist unten? Help. Help. Da ist ein Arm. Nee, Moment, ist das innen? Ist das außen? Fuck. Nee, das ist schon richtig. Help! Yep. Warte, ich schaff's. Ich krieg's hin. Ich kann eine Jacke anziehen. Ich bin schon groß. Yep. Okay. I have Jacke. Also. Ich habe nicht eine Jacke, ich habe einen Cardigan. Alkaloid. Als Dopingmittel. Aha. Interesting. Oh. Okay, wir haben das Poison jetzt drin. Who is this now? Could I have a word? Who? Oh, could I have a word? Es ist Luigi. Luigi! Das schmeckt sehr bitter. Bitter. Ich mag bitter nicht. Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it. Excuse me. Mood. Nein! Wait a minute, Inspector. Er wollte sich Fish and Chips holen. I see. Don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. Rattengift. Oh! Stritchini ist Rattengift. Okay. I see. From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. My dear Inspector, please, speak freely and pretend that I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me. Good. We have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamspeare's room. Nicht? Oh. Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That convict, actually. Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamspeare's room? A man by the name of... Ah, yes, Selden. Selden! I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that... Well, it caught my eye. Also? Something caught your eye? What, Inspector, what? I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves. Okay, thank you. The capital offender's file has been entered into the court record. Manchmal fühle ich mich wie ein Court-Assistent. Nice. These documents. Ja, aber das ist auch fies, wenn es die ganze Zeit mit Fachbegriffen kommt, die doch keiner kennt, weißt du? Ich bin auch nicht schlau, ich habe doch keine Ahnung. Included details that were in the newspaper's cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record, so we don't have duplicate information. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? Let me look it up for yes! Nice. Pat. I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion. Nice. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear fellows. And the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. Danke, Sholmes. Ich mag Sholmes so sehr. A shining diamond in the rough, maybe. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. So. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Oh, muss ich wieder rein? Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way into the court room at once. Moment, ich muss erst Dinge lesen. A bottle found in the possession. Es ist aber nur das. Stritschnin. Ich kann den Boden angucken. Achso, ist egal. Das ist Poison. Badge! Present badge! There are a few remnants on the bottle. On the bottom of the bottle. Also, das ist... das ist über... You must be tempted to try it. Of course not. As long as you don't lose this trial. You know, please. No. What the fuck? No! Even if you lose the trial. Danke. Danke. No! We mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruto. Make your mind up, Susato-san. Well. Don't do red poison! So, was haben wir hier? Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 Raubüberfälle? Nee, warte. Doch. Sind Burglary Raubüberfälle oder einfach Einbrüche? Nee, Burglary ist Einbruch. 18 Einbrüche. Und 6-mal Verdacht auf Mord. Also. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. Okay. The estimated 1,000 pounds worth of loot he stole remained unrecovered. Okay. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strange Ways prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shots of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Okay. Okay. Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all. Certainly not. Kannst auch sagen, wenn es denn langweilig ist, Scholms, Mann, ey. Thank you, Mr. Scholms. I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Moustache in lots of tears, personally. So, the best of luck to you. Welcome to the Mr. Naruto Esquire! Yes, Mr. Natsume? It's time, isn't it? Yes, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shakespeare. This is going to be the final battle. I would really have saved Suseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to an head now. You can do it, Rinosuke. You have to. Ryo! Naruto! 23. Februar, 12:30 Uhr mittags. Die Old Bailey Courtroom. Ach ja, wir sind ja wieder mal gegen sie. I see. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Thank you, Judge. For the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago in the true perpetration of this incident. 116. A reckless, rash, and prejudged charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Thank you. For that backhanded consideration. I read all the assessment from the honorable British prosecution, I must say. Ich muss mal kurz meine Nase putzen. Ein Moment. Haha. Hallo! Hallo, Sebuna. Es geht. So, hier. So, Lord Van Zieks. Is the new witness present and ready to take the stand? Ich mag Van Zieks. Ready and waiting in the witnesses' antechamber, my lord. Very well. Bailiff, bring the witness in. Okay. Oh no. Warum stehen jetzt beide da? Nein! Ah! Okay. Oh no. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. Wer sind wir? Wo sind wir? Und was geht gerade ab? Also wir sind Rhinos Naruhodo und wir stehen gerade im Courtroom. Dinge. Sholmes hat rausgefunden, dass man, wenn man nicht schläft, müde ist und dass man Schlaf braucht. Er ist schlau. Oh Mann, ey. Wie habe ich den geredet? William Shakespeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim, to be pitied. Okay. Okay, das ist geil. Currently unemployed, in other words. Hast du gerade Schlaf? Fuck this dude. Ja! I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak spirit to admit that she has no talent, I suppose. Was malt sie da gerade? Also currently unemployed, in other words. What a cotier. What a coterie. Sorry. Lesen kann ich. Mr. Shakespeare. Shut up, you bastard. Oh. Ja, aber das heißt nicht, dass ich employed bin als Artist, you know? Oder erfolgreich als Artist bin, nur weil ich malen kann. So, weißt du? Ich weiß auch nicht, wie sie malt. Keine Ahnung. Vermutlich malt sie gerade ein Mordbild oder so. Ich hab doch keine Ahnung. Das war bestimmt ein Piece of Evidence am Ende. I don't know, man. Ich hoffe, sie malt die Mordszene. Das wäre lustig. Einfach als Evidence so. Das ist voll rude. Unemployed. No. Ja gut, welcher Artist wäre schon employed? Also. In der Zeit, der das Spiel spielt, welcher Artist wäre da bitte employed? Niemand. Die wären alle selbstständig. Wenn dann. Rude Seeks. My lord, I am thy humble servant. Fuck You. Shut up. I hate you. You dumb man. I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you. Harfe. Howard for naught else, my lord. Halt die Klappe. Ah! And Miss Green? Yes? You're aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume? Yes, the officer did explain. Bam, bam! Ah! Ja, da war's! He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. Buffoon! Ich mag dieses Wort. Ich finde das lustig. Buffoon! Buffoon! And? Do you accept the charge, Miss Green? Of course not. I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man. Come, lady. Die to live. Okay. Verily, I know not thy pigmented personage. Pigmented person, was? Ausdrucksweise be like, what? Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair. It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrett Depp household. Was ich ein Messerdrücken bekommen, whoops. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days. Oh, okay. I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, though not my fault. Though no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion? What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing. Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. Das stimmt gar nicht. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh no! The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful accident? Ja, musst du jetzt. Oh. Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shakespeare. Eh? But what happened 6 days ago is nothing to do with me being poisoned. Ist mir egal. Sag, wo du warst! Ich meine. Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court. On the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening on the 17th of February. Erzählen die beiden? Nein! Ah. Bin ich kein Fan von. Oh. Immer wenn du zwei Leute hast, die gleichzeitig aussagen, dann das ist mühsam. Okay, 17. Februar am Abend. It was 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. I was walking along the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Weil sich gerade ein Fleck auf die Wange. Blab. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. I was at a tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. It was the first time I'd been in the area, das ist eine Lüge. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business. Das ist ein Lie. Wir wissen doch schon, dass sie da hätte sein müssen, weil ihr Verlobter da war. Also hat sie einen Grund gehabt, warum sie da ist. Whatever! Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is the most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare. It was the following morning when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine. And Suzuki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but a happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance. But I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it. Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish. Yes, my lord. Wir pressen einfach mal auf alles, I guess. Ich sage aber 5, sorry, steps in the back. Außer auf das, ich meine. Wo ist L? Das ist L. Who thinks? I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. And I woke up to find that the case had been solved and the culprit arrested. Yes, the incident has been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider that a bad dream that ended with your awakening and should now be forgotten. Yes, I suppose so. Thank you. Before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day, for us to arrive at the truth about this new case. The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement. Sie will nicht sagen, warum sie da war. Okay. Coincidentally, das ist halt schon mal das, was nicht stimmt. What were you doing there that day, though? What do you mean? The art school you attended. What's it called? Yes, it's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Shams, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene on the underground. I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road, isn't that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End? Well, Na, dir geht's gut. It's because, oh yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture. Also. The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas. That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town. Yeah, sure. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term. The point is, she's definitely hiding something. Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth. If she's trying to hide why she was there that evening, It must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. Key! Sie trägt einen Key. And you, Mr. Shamspeare, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago. Would you tell the court what exactly you were doing? That will be my pleasure, sire. Okay. Aber da ist definitiv irgendwas. Frage ist, mit was ich da kommen könnte? Ist der Master Key? Ist ja die Frage, was an den Sachen, die wir dabei haben. Ja, wir pressen einfach mal. A tavern, you say? Which one? That was the Sluggen Salad where I did tarry. There's a jewel in the East End. And a little unexpected, I feel. Oh. What do you mean, Lord Van Zieks? The Sluggen Salads offers usually fine dining. For the locality, at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. Ha! Hat er mich gerade arm genannt? Ja, hat er. Ja, hat er. It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness. Magst du Dreckwasser oder magst du ein bisschen weniger Dreckwasser oder noch ein bisschen weniger Dreckwasser? Und das wenigste Dreckwasser, was Dreckwasser ist. Toll. Oh. I would have expected Grub's grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas. Or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? Gar nicht sass at all. How different can water really be? Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment. Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days he dined at a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. Sus! I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. Haben wir? Ich glaube nicht. Don't think so, ne. Okay, aber das wollte ich wissen. Er wurde ja auch mit Strychnine vergiftet. Immerhin, aber ich glaube nicht, dass ich irgendwas habe. I wish we did, but sadly I can't think of anything at the moment. If you find a clue that could explain why Mr. Shamspeare went there, you must present it to the court. Yes, absolutely. Aber ich weiß nicht was. So that's all on this matter, Counsel. I would ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement. Das erste Mal, und das ist halt auch eine Lüge. What's the little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate. It was nothing, really. It's not worth mentioning. Ah, es war gar nichts. Who cares? Sure. If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. She did? I forgot. Okay, bei mir ist auch nicht gestern, dass ich letztes Mal gespielt habe, okay? Gut. It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green. Achso, da ist irgendwas versteckt. Ja. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. What does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan. Frag ich ihn? Ich frag ihn, glaube ich mal. Ja. Excuse me. Mr. Shakespeare, do you have something to share with the court? To be or not to be? That is the question. Ah, pray forgive me. The great Bard's words springeth from within me with near a thought. Also. Don't tell me it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's word a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevant, blah 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 blah, perhaps? Well, nay, sire, it was nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though? Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house. I would advise so, but sadly, nay. Lodging will be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodgings fellows be rarely known to me. So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours? Finde ich auch. Miss Green. Me, my lord, have I done something wrong? The card that was mentioned before, containing the note. Do you have it upon your person? I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really. Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Ah, yes, nice. More evidence. A note in an envelope that seems to have been ripped open rather roughly. It contains instructions to meet with someone who claims to have information about Duncan Ross. Of course, that's what links Mr. Shakespeare and Mrs. Green. A ripped piece of an envelope that was found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. The rest of the envelope could not be located. Oh mein Gott, da ist ja der Rest des Dings. Ach, krass. Kann ich hier nochmal lesen? Open responsibly more reading that. Ja, das hast du schon mal gesehen. Das denke ich mir. I don't mean... Ah, natürlich Piece of Evidence. Ah, gut, ich muss es angucken. Try to match him up. Oh mein Gott, die passen perfekt. They go together perfectly. This tone of end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card. So, abgedatet. Abgedutet. Updated. Updated. Gut. Aber ich kann die Message nicht nochmal lesen. Nee, okay. Aber there will be perfectly town of physical crime scene. Und da steht perfectly with the envelope in Mrs. Green's possession. Amazing! It's Duncan Ross. Das dachte ich mir vorher schon. Now, continue with testimony, please, Miss Green. Okay. Ich glaube nicht, dass ich auf die pressen muss. Nee, glaube ich nicht. Die Frage ist jetzt, auf welchen dieser Dingern... Das Meta, was sie zu attenden hatte, das wird sie linken, maybe. Oder? Suddenly Step, das ist nicht relevant. Das ist die Frage. Coincidentally. Ich glaube nicht, dass das von Shakespeare gerade relevant ist, I think. Ich glaube auf den. So, first time da, aber sie hat Meta to attend to. Oder... Warte, nee. Ich konnte vorher hier Evidence. Tavern. Das war hier, dass er gesagt hat, ne? Ich krieg nochmal kurz durch. Schuss, bisschen higher. So, Moshi Peace, bla bla bla. Reason why he had to go to the particular establishment. Ist das Evidence? Ist das eine Evidence, warum er sich anders verhalten hätte? Also ihr dürft mitraten, ne? Reicht das als Evidence, das zu sagen? Aber dann wäre es ja... Ich meine, die Karte ist das Einzige, was wir neu haben. Und so wie es abgerissen ist... scheint es ja übergeben worden zu sein. Und hat, eine Seite hat jemand gehalten. Kann ich kurz speichern? Nein, wenn es falsch ist, I guess, kann man reloaden. Mr. Shakespeare. Yes, sire. On the day in question, it is not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason. I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speak as... Very well. I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at this lock and cellar that day. Namely... Brief. Oh, Moment, das war der falsche Knopf. Da. I believe this card reveals the answer. Good lord. Miss Green's card, you mean? That's right, my lord. It reads... I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Also. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Also, den Rest wusste ich nicht. Mr. Shakespeare, your actions on the afternoon of Mrs. Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shakespeare? Well... Excuse me, can I say something? Yes, Miss Green? That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this old man, does it? Well, you'd think so, yes. But it's hard to believe it's merely... My lord, may I? May you what, Miss Green? I'd like to make something very clear about that card. Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include details about the particular note. Okay. This note was delivered to me at my address. It's nothing to do with the odd man next to me here. Das ist schon falsch. Junge. Objection. Instant objection. The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions on the note, you found yourself in hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me. Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn-off end of an envelope. Oh, is it? And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. Where did you find that? In Mr. Shakespeare's room. In my room? Mr. Shakespeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well... Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the notes to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Oh! Let me ask you again, Mr. Shakespeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green. What did I do? As this torn-off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shakespeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possessions? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There is only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shakespeare's room and stole it. Da hat sie nichts mehr zu sagen. Okay. You did what? Sorry. Thou hast what? You broke... I mean, thou were in my room? What on earth do you want with me? Oh. Oh. It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Miss Green. Yes? Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events. Anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. Yes, I know. Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimonies again now. On the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. Nun. Gut. The anomaly of the note. Anomaly. The anomaly. I do remember now. It was a week ago, pre-adventure, the note was delivered unto me. On the day... Was für ein Wort ist das schon wieder, Junge? On the day therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here, and as for that torn-off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it. Nun. Mood. You now claim you have received this... you now claim you have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shakespeare? Faith, 'tis so, my lord. And I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet, 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was... A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying. I beg your pardon. I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. Klar, ja, natürlich, nee. Wusstet ihr nicht? Artists lügen nie. Nie. Das wäre noch nie passiert, nein. That note was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is. If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in... I don't see why I should explain. Sorry? I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer. Also, the fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel? I'm ready, my lord. Na dann. Very well then, the defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses. Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shakespeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note. Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. And it's not a pretty one. What? Ich muss mal kurz was trinken. Okay.
Hold it!
And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire. 'Tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with knowledge of literature as great as mine own. Verily, 'tis impenetrable blah blah blah. Yeah, what? But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Alack, if the choices be twixt I knew him, and I knew him not, then this, with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted. Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to this lock and salad. Presumably, that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature. Mary, naught will have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So, 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satiated. Okay, das hat mir jetzt überhaupt nicht geholfen. He do be big bla bla, ja. Weißt du, was er mir für ein Vibe gibt? Der Clown. War das Teil 2? Der Clown ist Teil 2. Was Teil 2? Was Teil 3? Nein, 2. Ich weiß nicht mehr, welchem Teil aus 2. Ich glaube, das war der letzte Try in Part 2. Teil 2. Es gibt mir so viel Vibes. Einfach Scheiße labern. Du bist einfach so, Junge! Scheiße zu labern. Like I said, nobody came. So, even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared. Vorletzter Fall, also. Ah, warte, der letzte war der mit den Schauspielern, ne? Well, yes, sire. 'Tis as thou sayest. Really? You paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall. Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all? I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord. No, 'tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And all around me danced a great many companions. What do you mean? Flies, sire, flies! Okay. Good lord! In the name of Beelzebub! Where are they? Where were they? Fairies, perchance from a midsummer night's dream come to taunt me. Was labert der für Scheiße? I think they were just flies. I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me? Nein. Understand. In I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, did see the note had vanished.
Hold it!
When exactly did you notice that it gone missing? Such idle thoughts near occupy my mind. I am busied with great ideas. In other words, you didn't notice. Ich mag Van Sieg, er ist toll. Several days passed between your outings to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room. Yes, it will appear that the note disappeared sometime in that interval. Such idle thoughts nearly occupy my mind. I am busy with great ideas. Gibt's auch einen anderen Wort? Hallo? Ist das deine idle animation? Oder? And yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she couldn't not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room. Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding. Isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note. I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that. Oh, dearie me. What's Lord Van Ziek's getting at? He is tired of people lying! One tired vampire prosecutor man. I don't know what you mean. I think stuck into his man's room. Why would I?
Hold it!
It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shakespeare's about 1 week ago. Oh, does it? But for some reason, it ended up in your possessions. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless. Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shakespeare's room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing. If there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though. Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo. We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. Jetzt haben wir noch eine. Wir willen hier... So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it? I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. That can be true, yeah. Introverted I don't know. This fledgling doth readily cast apprehensions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. No, you're not. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh, pity. Warum tust du das? Therefore, dost thou accuse one too pure of heart, apple woman? Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Oh, damn. Tragedy! Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. All the days, all the years, elders to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain. Labert der! Mr. Naruto, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine. I'm no Shakespearean actor, Miss Susato. Not as far as I can tell. The only thing that it's going to resolve this argument is evidence. Is evidence, yes. Okay. Er ist der Vorfahre von dem Clown. Okay, warum ist sie eingebrochen? I don't know what you mean. I think I snuck into this man's room. Do you? Why would I? Okay, also. Sie hat... Sie hat einen Brief an ihn geschrieben. Sie hat einen Brief an Shakespeare geschrieben, um ihn wegzuhaben. Aus dem Haus, aus der Wohnung. Und ist eingebrochen, um... Sie müsste ja dann eigentlich vorgehabt haben, ihn zu töten. Hat sie ihn vergiftet? Wollte sie ihn da vergiften? Und hat einen Brief mitgenommen als Beweis. Also, dass kein Beweis da ist, dass ihn jemand aus dem Haus haben wollte. Aber sie hat nur die eine Hälfte des Briefes gefunden. Also, ergibt das Sinn? Aber würde das bedeuten, dass der fucking Tee, dass die Teetasse seit einfach 3 Monaten gefühlt, seit 3 Tage lang vergiftet war und er hat nicht draus getrunken? Oder was hat sie vergiftet? Vielleicht hat sie was anderes vergiftet. Irgendwas damit eingestrichen, was er dann angetatscht hat. Oder, I don't know. Also sie muss ja eingesprochen, also muss irgendwo hier sein. Was haben wir an Evidence? Slow-acting poison. Was heißt Slow-acting? Kann ich das nochmal angucken? Hier steht eine halbe Stunde nach nehmen. Nehmen wir mal. Yesterday at hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though the contents spilled during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense independent analysis, Mr. Shum's chemistry said, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shakespeare. Huh? Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings. For one reason, and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shakespeare's room with poison. Ja, weiß, es war doch nicht an der Tasse. Was ergibt Sinn? Eben, es wird doch was anderes. Okay, ich war nicht so falsch. Wie er guckt. Can it be? You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court. But from the remaining clues, there is only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shakespeare's life with poison It was you, Miss Olive Green. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dearie. Me! Nicht das Bild! Oh, order! Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill? Yes, my lord. There is no other way to explain the facts. But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely. Well, that is a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening, on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoings at the time. Lord von Siegs! Hat uns geholfen! Dankeschön. And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shemspeare's address. More activity? Ah, yes! You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on the suspicion of murder? That's right. And as the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shemspeare was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. To cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, hereby asphyxiating the occupant. Ich weiß, das heißt ersticken, aber you know. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shemspeare had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant. Deswegen war es auch nicht mehr so potent, huh? And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right, Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted. That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out and Mr. Shemspeare was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary! With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan. What plan? Guck mal, Renos hat's auch rausgefunden. The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit this lock and cellar at 5 o'clock. And that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at a stated time. To make sure I wasn't home. Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say the letter was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. Ja gut, das hat sie zu ihrer Verteidigung zu sagen. Oh. Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness? Ja, aber warum sollte sie das denn tun? Ja, ganz einfach. Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Warum hast du... Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this. Will you share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel? Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life? Duncan Ross!
Take that!
Duncan Ross? That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence on the lodgings at Mr. Goridep's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at their haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague... of course, yes, I remember now. The young man, they claimed, was strangled by the convict's curse or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shemspeare blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple. Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths, that's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. That hits deep, because that's kind of true. And once they bought, just 1 month later, once the story lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you? Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé. Fiancé? You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shemspeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you are her sworn enemy. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Marry? Miss Green, is it not the case? That in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shemspeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Yeah. Each on different counts of murder? Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Nein, Siegs. Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why will Mr. Shemspeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. It is lies, all lies. I deny every utterance. You have to forgive me, Mr. Naruto, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green, I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
Objection!
But you broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason? I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. Sorry? Hiya! You're right, I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, vileness! Oh, villainy! Oh, tyranny! Oh, rotundity of woman! But in any case, whenever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. Du meinst den Schlüssel, den sie um den Hals trägt? That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some turps and a piece of wire. Oh, awfulness! Oh, heartfulness! Oh, tyranny! Oh, profanity of women! Hiya. We will consider you trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found. What evidence you searched revealed. Well, I spotted a note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place. Hey? Yes, we also discovered that hiding place. Inside we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Ah, yes, well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. What? There was something in it? Yes. A key. This rather nice key. Ah! Okay. What are you doing with that? What the? Every ounce of color has drained from his face. Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine! I inherited it! What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it? No, What's all this about? He inherited the key? It was obviously important to you since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it is for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care. Give it back to me! Give it back this minute! Give it to me! Oi, oi, oi. Bitte nicht prügeln! Calm yourself, witnesses! So Mr. Shakespeare has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shakespeare at first, but considering everything we know now, I think there is actually something that could explain it. Wer das dann? Das da? Verwegte Criminals. Sign a moment witness only by his cellmate. War dann er der Cellmate? Maybe. Ha! What? Bam! I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that turns through all these events. In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shakespeare's alleged crimes? Es bleibt nur das übrig. That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden file. How did you get hold of that? Selden? Now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defender Mr. Natsume have only one thing linked them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The some £1,000 worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found. Oh, yes, of course. It's coming back to me now. It's written in his file here. £1,000 lost and en route to hell. That was how the papers summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. You mean this key has... Mr. Shakespeare, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital of Fender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? 'Tis a false charge, I tell you, a false charge! The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So, it all comes out. Das DLC, oh, muss ich mir angucken mal. Yes, and having established that. Wie lange war das DLC? All of Mr. Shakespeare's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Goridep's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice. Because Selden's old room had already been let to somebody else. Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shakespeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it. Mr. Soseki Natsume? The defendant of this case, no less! So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shakespeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the £1,000 of loot left behind the dead convict. Ihr klingt jetzt so. Okay. Ich sage immer noch auf einen Siegs. Pointy fingers! Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me look. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Yeah, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay on the one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shakespeare. Vielleicht wäre ein besserer Name für ein Scamspear gewesen. It's mine. Hey? What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Oh. 6 Stunden, damn. Oh no, he going crazy. Oh boy. Mr. Shakespeare? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Oh god. If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me. For the time being, anyway. Well, really? You can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Oh god. Die sind alle so. I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I get my hands on it. And I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through. But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruto. There is a way. Pardon? There is one way I can finish him. No! He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. Sholmes! We need you. This is the final piece in the complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possessions already. Or rather, I think we will have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. Hallo, ich hab eine Frage. My lord. Yes, counsel. The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. Whee! Oh. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Very well, then, counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's haul? Oh shit. Fuck. Könnte es im Gasmeter sein? Scheiße. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Badge! Nein, nicht Badge. Oder er meint, wir sollen Skinprint-Sieger. Ah, da, hier, Fingerabdrücke. Das macht viel mehr Sinn. Braun Scholz. Badge! If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, Miss My Lord. Exposed by result of the defense independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes. A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Bad! Nein! Nein, Tars, nein! Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? Oh. I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Spear. Perhaps we should complete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Ich mag ihn. Ah! 'Tis Sherlock Sholmes himself. What are you doing here, great detective? Schlüssel. Schlüssel for life! Your usual haunts are the filthy backstreets of the capital, are they not? Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since last we met. Ja, du siehst scheiße aus. Okay, danke. 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 Rude. Mr. Sholmes! He does know Lord Van Siegstan? Well, enough to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes, though you may be heralded as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the title to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit. If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover vital clues in this case already. Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruto. Yes? What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Sonseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in this old room. What form will the sample take? Scheiße. Der Schlüssel, maybe? Aber wir haben... Moment. Ah! Der Punkt ist, ich darf ja dann nur von dem hier auswählen. Da müsste ich sagen, eine Person, weil sie hat den Schlüssel. Da wurde bestimmt noch nie angetatscht vorher, so von einer anderen Person. Nee, nee. Aber wir haben den Schlüssel nicht in unserer Possession. Das ist nicht in Evidence als Objekt, das wir haben. Das heißt, ich muss eine Person sagen. We need to find something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. And something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Ja, eben, okay, es geht nur Court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruto, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain a possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution? Olive.
Take that!
Miss Green. Ah, me? What do you want with me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belongs to Selden. There will be remnants of sections from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Oh, very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Shrom's skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Mr. Shamspear, as one grade to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. Oh. So, Mr. Shamspear. Ach, die Musik ist so geil! Das Spiel hat viel zu gute Musik. The truth is well within our grasps now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Shams take this key. No! Give this key to me! The detectives shan't have it! It's over, Mr. Shamspear. No! No! You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Whoa! Oh, shameful spear! Despair! By the name! By thy name! Erstmal split in the air und dann sterben. Konfetti! Wo hätte das Konfetti her? Konfetti! Nice. I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all. So you'd have to have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? Yet, after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent. For one thing, Mr. Gardner really has a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume, what unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And if I remember rightly, Mr. Shum spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquired and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove into his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap. William Shamspear. How does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. Nice. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stuff always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. That's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then. If it's that important to you, I'll start looking for your new place. There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I better not. We said we'd wait until we'd graduated before we told our parents, remember? Oh no. But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school. But something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a moustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up to the road to grub scrubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. The place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me. I wake up in the middle of the night freezing to death because the stuff has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like, I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking. But how could that be? Duncan was gone and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? Ah, you mean... Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. That little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End. Hey, black market? I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them, and you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out, one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? And your chosen method of establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shakespeare was innocent, nothing would come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes deadly. I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shakespeare, and then I wrote him this note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough, so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shakespeare followed the instructions to the letter. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just deserts. Oh, så sad no. Så sad du sa no. Three days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Holy sad story. Sad. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green? Yes, my lord. You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shakespeare. Yes, I know. And you, Mr. Shakespeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present. Mr. Naruhodo? Ah, yes? Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle. I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my head. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad of you being here, Miss Green. Oh? And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shakespeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Oh, because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Das Glitzern in den Augen. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green. Mr. Soseki Natsume? Yes, my lord. The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. Ich habe vergessen, wie ich den geredet habe. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty. Buddy, wee! Woo! Confetti! Confetti! Hey, Konfett! Yeah! Hello? 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 Warte. Ich warte, ich reloade mal kurz eben das Video überdenken. Ah! So, da bitteschön. Pet. Fall gelöst, ja. Code is a John. Bla 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 bla. Code is bla bla bla. Mehr trinken. Äh, 23. Februar, 3:24 Uhr, Old Bailey. Defense Chamber. Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice, duty done. Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. Hey! No, this has nothing to do with my mustache! Oh. Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, my Mr. Shams. Look, I'm so the best of this, Squire! Once again! You saved me from doom! Das ist der dritte Fall mit Soseki. Aber beim zweiten Mal nicht schuldig. Also war nur ein Witness. Also beim ersten Fall von dem Teil so. I'm very happy to have been able to help Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature within our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became a prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. Ist ein Rückblick, ja gut. How dare! In the end, I confined myself into my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, about a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. And I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog. My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are a few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I've finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan. What? Just when we'd become friends here in England. What a terrible shame. Oh, I know. That does rug at my heartstrings. It really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. Novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my. So you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful. Oh, well, no, I mean... I would presume to call it literature. Oh. Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Moustache. I suppose you're right. Yes, it will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. Ha! That's very true. And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is its prosecutor. The desire to return post haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. It's so rude. Oh my goodness, yes! Faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. Also daran habe ich gar nicht gedacht. But that's not my leaving! I mean it! Objection! And well, that was the case we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Soseki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. Bitch! Nein! The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. Oh? What did they find? I'm very interested. What did they find? 24. Februar, 10:13 Uhr. Mr. Natsume's room. Oh, well done, Mr. Shums. How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding place in just 1 day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson? Ich mag ihn. Greg's been happily munching in agreement with this whole time, you know, Hurley. Oh. Happily, I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth. So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's hall. Yeah, what have they find? What did you find? What is that? Das sieht aus wie ein Halsband von dem Hund. Wie hieß das? The Dogs of... No, wait. Ah, mir fällt nicht ein, wie die Geschichte hieß. Die Sherlock Holmes Geschichte. It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar. Hey, collar? It's huge though! Hounds of Baskerville! Hounds of Baskerville! Das war's! Dafür B, da, Baskerville. B für Baskerville. Oh mein Gott, ich bin so smart. And look at all the gemstones set in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Ich hab's gerade gegoogelt. Danke. Haha, ich habe mich daran erinnert. Oh mein Gott. Oh, have you noticed? On the inside there are some dark stains. Ist blutig. Nein, not a doggy! Vielleicht war es auch ein Bär. In der Geschichte. You don't think there could be blood, do you? Fahren wir dahin, endlich nach Baskerville? Ich glaube nicht. I mean, there's quite a lot of it. on second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then of course there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown. What does it signify, do you think? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes? Oh, he knows. All the color has drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you're out to be taking this, aren't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot, and hand it over now. I've never seen a collar that large before, and all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out the most to me. At least, not once I noticed it. I have an idea. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those stains. Could they really have been blood? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now. And you look very pleased, Iris. I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the base of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating. Und danach hat sie die Geschichte geschrieben und wir haben das Manuskript gefunden. Und irgendwas war nicht okay damit. You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume? The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man, and the convict's curse, perhaps? I could make it a two-part story. No person with B in his name. Wie du? I'm thinking, I don't remember. Ah, Baroque waren sie. Oh, true. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, big no. Oh. Oh, I can't wait. A word, please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Harley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case. Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? What the fuck? Would be typical Ace Attorney writing. Yes, yes. Yes. A mystery! A mysterious mystery!
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity.
Suddenly voice acting. Oh.
Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story.
Oh!
It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen.
Oh, ich muss die Emotes von der Ästhetik bei mir als Dings reinmachen, ne? Als Better Twitch Emotes. Yes. Better Twitch TV Emotes.
For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again.
Oh.
With an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Oh. Geil. Nice. Das war der erste, zweite Fall vom zweiten Game. Normalerweise gibt es so 5. Key of Knowledge. Oh, unser Victory Theme. Yes, please save. Hi! Puh. Das ist vermutlich auch wieder 5. The Return of the Great Departed Soul. Episode 3. Ja, warte, ich kann mal kurz gucken. 3, 4, 5. Ja. Final Chapter heißt es aber sogar nur. The Resolve of Hirosuke Naruto. Was ist das für ein Name? Twisted Karma and his last bow. Hm. Krass. Start playing from the start of this episode. Yes, please. Wo soll ich denn sonst starten, hä? The Great Departed Soul.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park.
Hyde Park, oh nee.
Welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows,
Genau das.
it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the Crystal Tower itself, brought the truth to light.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Oh my god, amazing!
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
How to explode a man. Oder so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world.
Ja!
Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies.
Okay.
And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future. A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Super High Voltage, klingt ja gut. Bestimmt nicht gefährlich. What's he gonna do?
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity
Ah!
and beamed to another location.
Wow, ich kann Strom hier machen und darüber schicken.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled.
Also
by a
Teleportation.
series of complex
I think you. Oh no.
exactly as it was before.
Oh no. No. No, no.
In but a few moments from now, these gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
Dem geht's gut, er hat Spaß. No, no, no. Da ging nichts schief. Alles gut. Suddenly all the games budget. Ja. 22. Oktober. 9:36 Uhr. Sweet. Wie überraschend. Runo, are you listening? Oh, sorry, what was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, it's not like, it's not it at all. What were you talking about again? Today's paper. It's full of news about the great exhibition again. Ah, yes. The great exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Did you say something, Iris? Hat aber wieder nicht gepennt. Oh gosh, you're even more down. Mood. Nein! Ah! Wenn die Giraffe ist in Naruto. Ich bin die ganze Zeit da. I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. Ja, ich liebe seine Weste. Die ist so geil. Ich möchte einfach diese... Ich muss einfach diese scheiß Weste machen. Ich brauche diese Weste. Die ist so geil. Die ist so schick. Très chic. Die ist so geil, die Weste. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here. You know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Right? Thanks. An avocado! Thanks! Of course, I would deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning, with all its unruly spikes. Clearly, it can be deduced therefore that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Rude. Oh. Danke. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. So, I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? Nein, goddammit! Alter, der Mood Swings. Oh, ups, da wollte ich nicht draufklicken. Ah, back to moping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know, and the great exhibition has opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go to see it together? I want to, of course, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from. Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Harley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Ich muss aber mal ganz kurz weg. Bin gleich wieder da. Einen Moment. Hallo. Ah. So viel reden, ne? Ha. So. Mal ein bisschen trinken. Ich habe hier noch Schokolade von gestern, die ich nicht gegessen habe. Hm. Vor 6 Monaten. Half a year ago now. I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Don't tell me, this situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruto. Yes, my lord? I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. Welches Trial war das nochmal? Das war das letzte Trial im ersten. Das war bei dem Trial, wo auch Susato gehen musste. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, was es ging. Also wer war die also was war da so schlimm daran? Ja, es wurde der Pawnbroker gekillt und wegen des Manuskript. Ich glaube, das Manuskript von Dance of Baskerville war da drin irgendwie. Irgendwie so. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading at those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sholm's old cases. Brewing's Iris' special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread off for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruto. Hey. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strong. Ah, stimmt, der Lord Strongheart war ja involved. Der gab's bestimmt nichts Sasses. At the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. The Great Exhibition. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the fine works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on... Do you mean those things? Fly? Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. I'd like to see murder. Moment. See here. Every page of this paper carries some article or other about the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Ah, ist wegen den Forced Evidence. Okay, ja, ich verstehe. Forged Evidence ist blöd, ja. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Okay. Danke. Shadows cast behind? Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the papers? Is it? No! Lost cat. No! Now six and compatriots cornered. What? So many glowing reports about the great exhibition and everything that's going on there. Cat, no! And then this rather gloomy looking one that is. Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked? That's Lord Van Zieks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes is talking about. Is there now any more, I wonder? Lord Van Zieks attacked! No! That's my boy. Oh. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruto. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. Ed? You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually... the more mysterious and complicated the case is, the better Hurley's mood. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please. You mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without the invitation. Remember what I always say, put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zieks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Baroque Van Zieks. Unser Vampir. I say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always finds ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zieks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time. He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zieks hurt? My dear Valo, how on earth would I know? I don't know. Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zieks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps? Hat sie ready gemacht. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Shons. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Wow. Well then, see you later indeed. But listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Oh my god. Ah! Ah! Was ist das bitte für ein Ausgabe? Iris, was ist das für ein Hut? Warum hat er einen Hutschwanz? Amazing. Oh. Alright then, Bruno. Let's get going. Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I've got change to go to the great exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. Please do not shoot me. Shoot me. All right, fine. Just don't want a weapon, would you? So süß. Die haben so ein süßes Pulli an, jo. Die Jacke ist voll niedlich. Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the great exhibition. Okay. Okay. Move! New location has been added. Ach ja, wir sind im Glockenturm. Sure. Clock Tower. 22. Oktober, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice Office. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change. Like this sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Oh my god, Iris. No. Cute bean. It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh my god, the bean. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. Time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. I understand, you wish to speak with me. Hier ist halt auch, ist halt eigentlich auch sass, ne? Oh, that's Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well. Let's see, since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while, my apologies. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around, staring into space. Space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Well, Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crimes, and furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. Okay. As well, the hosting nation, I have much to do. And it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Ah, well, thank you for agreeing for this meeting, my lord. So much villain energy, yup. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out of it. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Oh, here he comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? As at best, you are a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. I should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. Oh, die Musik. Die Musik von Kazuma ist so gut. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Starzoghi was my best friend, you see? That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. This calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you? That perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studious obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Rono. In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course. Please, tell me more. Oh no. Lass mich erst über das reden. All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly. London, the global and epicenter of culture, science and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Ja, er wollte, dass wir McGilded vertreten. Eben, er saß. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Ja, der Fall, der uns später in den Arsch gebissen hat, korrekt. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly. The future of policing. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly. It's extremely alarming. Ah! Jedes einzelne Mal. If I were here, Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different from the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating! No, please. It all began 15 years ago. I was... He's had some puppet hungry. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. This is surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Oh, wieder ein Scheißfall übernehmen. You described it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no. Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Oh, nee. Immer diese Germans, schlimm. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with a click of the fingers? That's right! It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil may care. Devil may care. Devil may care. No. Whatever this serious accident knows exactly, it's clearly captured Iris' imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odiasman, an investor and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion? Ah, a man died? The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. How do I say this now? Albert! Professor Albert Harebrain. Harebrain. Ich habe auch immer ein Hasengehirn. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition, a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder? I feel out of my depth. I feel out of my depth before I even started. Still, we should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this gem professor. Don't you think? Definitely. Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh? With Lord Van Zieks? How? Okay. Will ja nicht sagen. Okay. Das Hasengehirn! Nun. Zeile 11. The one said cell 11. That's this one. Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look. What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Harebrain? Not me. Wie rede ich dir? Scheiße, Mann. Who are you? I'm Brunos genau so. Lawyer! Fuck yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Was it something I said? A liar, you say? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Ich kann nicht deine Hypothesis. Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't. Yesterday's demonstration. That demonstration was. That magnificent demonstration was. It was an out success by anyone's calculations. Oh. But despite that, no one listens. No loyally believes in the science. And it's explained they all leave at high velocity. Ja, ich auch. Same. Mood. Oh no. Now's probably not a good time to mention that your seal made by concentration leave for a while too. Evade. Oh no. Oh no. Hello. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in an explosion, didn't he? Yes! You could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose, in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure. But at the same time, it was a great success. Oh Gott. Ich weiß nicht, warum die mich alle anschreien. Ich weiß es nicht. I don't get it. Why are they screaming at me? Stop screaming at me! Hey. Ich weiß nicht, warum die alle schreien müssen. I don't get it. Oh no. You've lost me. I saw it with our eyes. Right there in front of me. Mr. Esman was spontaneously disassembled! So kann man das auch nennen. Er hat sich die Luft aufgelöst. Ich hab weggelasert. Nun. He exploded! Amazing! Oh no. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the crystal tower by instantaneous kinesis. Okay. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Esman in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So, what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Esman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that I wish to be punished. At once. But... murder? Never in a million years! It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Ah, yes. It's newly established here in Britain that a special dispensation for scientific equipment act that one passed by me. But if the case is treated as a murder, then they'll say the machine was the murder weapon. Also, then they say the machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative. This whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Oh. Ah, I see now. Hiya. Hiya, dieser Dude. So, in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition showground yesterday. Yes! Oh, I don't know! The devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating! Humans, like our matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electric bonds. So, it must be possible using a sufficient high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. There's my idea, you see? That's an amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it, dare to dream of such incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in the cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian Theatre, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you would travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? Wouldn't it? Would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean? Oh God. Oops, that's got Professor Bunny Brains really worried by the look of it. Danke. Danke, Iris. Danke, dass du ihn auch Bunny Brain. Ja. Hasengehirn. Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations were flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes! Hal is always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Assman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. O.D. Assman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see, so you hadn't really known each other until then? Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even? Oh, He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financing support for my research from the British government. Mr. Assman provided me with money and exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Assman. I would never, ever have thought of taking a man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Oh. Ah, ich wollte nicht ein. Ups, ich wollte nicht nochmal drücken. Falsche Taste. Moment. Keine Ahnung. How could this have happened? You must feel awful, as well as a man losing his life. The Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. Hey, I know what happened. It must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. Okay. Ciao, Würstchen. Let's go. When I paid the bill, they gave me the 3 shillings too much in change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. That's still there now. Also. It's divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. Ja, das Namensschild. Okay, aber ich kann mit dem jetzt nicht mehr reden. Hasengehirn. Mal zurück zu ihm, maybe? Nö. Zurück? Nein. Dahin? Bam. Ja, was tust du? I'm so excited about the prospect of Naruho's anything consultancy opening for business again. That's not what it's called. It's Naruho's legal consultancy. I've done a lot of studying in these past 6 months. Reading law texts and judicial precedents. I'm sure I'm a better lawyer now. I can't wait to start practicing again. Ich glaube, hier kann ich nicht. Since we went back to, I want to keep it ready for Miss Sosato in case she was able to return to Britain at any point. So I've just left everything the way it was. Oh, I see. Right. And that was me thinking it's because of the way you are, Runo. You know, never bothering to tidy up, I mean. Iris. This isn't the time for the place to bring up my tidiness. Or lack of it. Das bringt mir auch nichts. Was? Ich habe ein paar Peoples. Das Bild, ey. Kann ich ihm das Bild von Typen nochmal zeigen? Kann ich nicht. Was? Moment. Ich gehe mal kurz im Guide nachgucken. Ich bin gerade verwirrt, was ich verpasst habe. Does it present? Hä? Ah. Ah. Ich muss bei Strongheart noch mal was zeigen. Oh, nee. Nicht A, X. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Oh, of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not? Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does, strangely. Ah. Ich habe verpasst. Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for the man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked though? Do we know? It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning this freedom, the man in question made a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Asman. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Big oh no! Mr. Odie Asman. Did you say Asman? That's the man who died in the big explosion in the Great Exhibition. Oh no. Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Oh, unbelievable. I wonder. Could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside of courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper, and in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died, and if not by someone's hand? Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to persecute on behalf of the crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Okay. Er war ja mal eine Zeit lang weg, ne? Songheart is so sus. Yes. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. Right? So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh, yes! Where would I find Lord Van Zieks now? Oh. I would assume he's at his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get it straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands. Oh, of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. Oh, no. Now I can go. Lord Van Zieks! Da waren wir noch nie. Yes. Da hat's Wein. Guck mal, wie viele Gläser er hat. Ja, wenn du die ganze kaputt machst. Sein Office? Yes. Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office. Yes, it appears so. It sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazing deathly atmosphere. Okay. Oh, is that... That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. Is this Van Zieks? What are you doing here? Yeah, it is. Hello. Hi, na. He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you well. I am. So, who's the person over there by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice. And he's sitting there of his own free will. Okay. I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. He is very able in combat. A requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Tutelage! Tutel! Da steht Tutel. Tutel! Tutel. Sorry, my brain is so... Hä? Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is such a fable fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. Einer. Kann ich mich umgucken? Okay. Hallo. Nothing in particular of note. Also ich würde das eigentlich... Look at all those ancient caskets lining the wall here. The casket in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they caskets? You don't think all those People who escaped the conviction in court are lying inside them. The dead. Do you? What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Das ist fucking alcohol, you dumb fuck! Oh, yes, well, of course. Thank you for clearing that up. Dann siehst du. What the actual fuck? June and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper. I wouldn't. If you hadn't invited yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. Uh-huh. Oh, look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground. That's amazing. I wonder why it's there, here. Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend it in person. Or perhaps he is too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely, it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid. Ah! You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. I really didn't think he'd overhear that. I'm so sorry. Good, there's a picture of him. The portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Gutes Bild. Yes. Aha. Ups, ich wollte nicht weiter. Ich hab... Ups, sorry. Das war mir ein Fehler. Wollte noch lesen. It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly... Whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zieg's facial features. Nicht? Hä? Sieht doch voll gut aus. Pff, Reward, keine Ahnung. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Was soll das heißen? That reminds me. I had Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. How vain. That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it? Ah, that portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it? Außerdem sieht die viel zu ähnlich aus. Sag ich nicht. Okay. Aha. Lord Van Zieg's desk. Look, it's so stylish. That's a marble chess set beside it. Chess? That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? Naja, ich glaube, shogi ist nicht... Nein. Bin mir nicht sicher, ob shogi genau gleich funktioniert. Ich glaube nicht. You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zieg sometime. To a bout of shogi problems. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home. Wow. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. Ist Van Zieg auch ein Warrior of Light? Er mag Grapes. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless. Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Oh! Oh no! My battery, help! Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. Aber. So, It's my fault. Silly me. How could I ever have thought otherwise? Oh no. Warte. Einen Moment. So. Oh, upsla. Da wollte ich gar nicht rein. Ja, Junge, du bist so eingesteckt, oder nicht so? Why are you like this? Muss ich die Joy-Cons abnehmen und damit weiterspielen? It really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Runo, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Well, anyway, that we're alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us. He's not dead! Okay. Hello. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack? True. Carried out by henchmen of ODSman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. ODSman. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper? But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Comeuppance? I don't know. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asman died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Bruno? I mean, what with you asking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to defend him? Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. Also, oh! You're... What? Ha! Das habe ich nicht erwartet. I understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all. So, you were students together? I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. What's Lord Van Ziek's thinking? Ah. That's a turn of events. What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean... I'm a crown prosecutor and a mortal like any other. I'm no demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. That was Ginny. In fact, she ever so hardworking now. I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh? It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful of their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zieks. Damn. Fear-mongering, ja. Ich guck mal kurz einen Guide. Ich bin, glaube ich, auf Wörter, dass ich zu tun habe. Ah, ich muss wieder das Newspaper zeigen, okay. What one seeks about the article in this paper? Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. Von dem Strong hat sehr profitiert, yes. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? Present badge to Strugard! As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, it's like you are too early then, Bruno. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He is currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looked like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders. Huh? Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. Hallo! Ah! The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. Nice to meet you. Warum sind da oben? Ha! Guck mal da oben! Das wird mir gerade erst ernsthaft, da oben sind zwei fucking Fledermäuse. Geil. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet somehow it didn't feel like a first encounter. Yeah, I have a suspicion. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside his office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to... Why he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Barock, gleich Vampir! Ah, yes. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man, is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop, and the moustache, and the chitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that first, Runo. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's a little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san, after Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books. A mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zieks, I think. Okay. Warte, ich möchte das mal kurz. Look at them! Oh, ich kann sie sogar angucken. Oh no! Ah! Ah! There are bats! Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. Familiars? But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind. He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper then. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though. Either way. I'm getting attacked. Okay. Ich mag Van Zieks, guys. He's cool. Hello. Aha. I understand Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, and all around nice fellow, really? Nice. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Baruch Van Zieks. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about that leading question, Bruno. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zieks family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood. Little darling? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Old Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Oh no, it's as his smiles all over again. Nine! It's his edgy poo all over again. Really? What sort of event? Okay. I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zieks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. Sein Vater wurde im Fahrstuhl erschossen. No. Mann, ey. Du weißt, was ich meine, Doofnase, du. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. Nein, was denn? Fuck you. But so I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions to take a person's life. Not in a centrillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Oh. Do you believe me? Do you believe I'm in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. Rude! You are rude. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories, but I do believe you. And I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Aww. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Juno. It's time. It's time to visit the great exhibition. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Move to the experimentational stage. Oktober. Crystal Tower. Es ist der Crystal Tower. Crystal Tower ist halt anders aus meiner Erinnerung. Und habe sie nicht eingepasst. Ich meine, das sieht Crystal so aus. So. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. Oh no. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trotted on 3 times too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public extermination stage, where the explosion happened yesterday. That exploded. Oh, what? What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. It sounds like an argument. Uh-huh. Oh. Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh, yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cell will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Oh. This is Genie, yeah? Yoo-hoo! Grexy! What are you doing up there? Ah! Ah! It's you here! You're here! You are here! Your ladyship! Stimmt, er ist der biggeste. Ich bin ihr größter Fan! How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable. I'm gonna have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. God damn it. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. Also war auch suspended. Oh no. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely, or there should be. Watch it, Sunshine. Sorry. Ich find's süß. Ich weiß nicht, ich finde das süß, dass er einfach Sunshine als Nickname gibt, irgendwie. I don't know, man. What a gift then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Mr. Nara-Odo. Hey. What? Hey! That's my last bit of spending money, that is. You can have it back. But I'll have to charge you for all the bother. Free, Bob. Rude. This is Gina Lestrade. A pickpocket or diver born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago. This is the young girl I was defending in court. What's the problem, eh, Odo? Odo? So I have a pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do ya? Oh. I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. Oh, so you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Oh nein! Nein! Warum muss sie? Oh, das ist geil. Ich bekomme einen Inspector Lestrade. Let's go. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part is entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. That's what's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Hi, Gina. So, aber... Nice Musik. Lestrade. Speichern. Wunderbar. Gute Musik. So. Ich habe so viel gelesen heute jetzt schon. Ich mag nicht mehr lesen. So. Habe ich wen zum Raiden? Das Beginn, also das ist jetzt aber nicht drin. Ey, wir sind nicht im Beginn. Ey, ich habe gerade niemanden, den ich raiden. Ja. Mann, aber so fertig. So. Ich danke fürs Zugucken. Ich hoffe, ich komme jetzt ein bisschen mehr dazu, das auch mal weiterzuspielen. Dass wir nie mehr so 300 Jahre Pause haben dazwischen. So. Dann wünsche ich euch einen schönen Rest vom Sonntag und eine wunderschöne Zeit. Und wir sehen uns nächste Woche. Bye, bye.